Hello, this is Bryan from Some Like It Real. Nick, Armen, welcome. I'm so excited to chat with you guys today. How are we doing today?
Honored to be
Wonderful.
here. Yeah.
Very excited to sit down with you guys and talk to you about the Napa Boys. I was super lucky to attend the world premiere of this film at TIFF with its
Wow.
Midnight Madness crowd, and
Well,
genuinely one of the most exhilarating, flat out bonkers theater going experiences that I've ever had. Truly unlike anything that I've ever gone to in my life. So this is a genuinely crazy film that I don't know how to pitch to people. So when people have been asking you guys about the Napa Boys, how have you been describing it to them?
unfortunately, I'll just say I've been describing it as, yeah, reminder of why you love movies in the first place and sort of a reminder for real of the joy of human connectivity, friendship, fellowship, and just sort of that feeling of The Wizard of Oz and sort of a classic experience communally as well as privately over and over forever.
I would say in the way that George Lucas took radio serials and alchemized it into Star Wars with the joy and the Wizard of Oz and the magic, Kurosawa and John Ford, we similarly took American Pie straight to DVD sequels, genre disrespected like the radio serials, and alchemized it into a Sideways Presents Napa Boys that, if you were to be literal about it, but actually the great prestige is that it's a beautiful and sincere film.
It's a very beautiful film and it's super hilarious and very out there. And when I saw the film at TIFF, I knew little to nothing about the film. I went into this completely blind. And when it started and when I realized you guys were paying homage to Sideways, I knew right then and there that this was a film made for me because that's one of my all-time favorite films. I adore it with every fiber of my being. The wine stuff, the Miles and Jack Jr., that was truly brilliant stuff on your end. And you brought up the tributes to movies and other stories that you guys really adored and everything. So what made you want to incorporate that into a film like the Napa Boys?
I think it was just sort of a response to what's been going on, or at least in cinema for the last 20 years or so, or just really wanting to live our dreams as well and sort of earnestly do that while also remember things were just let's try and be funny for real and Marx Brothers and
Yeah, I think exactly. The temperature and the way that films are made today and the tropes they utilize lazily just to pass off cliche, we thought had never been commented on. And we wanted to pair that with tropes that films don't do anymore and sort of checkerboard those two things. And it felt like the right mix.
yeah, it almost was, I guess, or I didn't even know if it was a comedy at times. I mean, obviously it is, but I mean it in the airplane way or in, Holy Grail or anything, just you want to really respect that there was a new language of sort of the movie is also speaking to you, like as it just each scene unfolds, you start to learn this other mystery, or that the people who made it think it's a masterpiece or something.
That's the thing too that's so beautiful about this film is that it is a comedy, it's a drama. There's action in it, there's thrills, there's horror elements, there's Jay and Silent Bob, there's everything that you want in a film. And I think that that is just a beautiful amalgamation of what you guys were able to bring. And, going back to the stuff that you have been saying so far about how this is not just a love letter to cinema, but it's also hopefully a call. That's what you guys wrote in the filmmaker statement. And I was really taken aback by that comment, especially considering that that's how you guys opened up the statement. And I think it's so inspirational that you guys just went out and made the film that you guys wanted to make. So is there any piece of advice that you want to give to inspiring filmmakers who struggle to get their stories off the ground? And in this case, like you guys just said, fuck it, we're going to do whatever we want and we're going to put it out there. And we don't care how people feel about it. This is just what we want to do.
Yeah, I would say you have to just shoot. as much as you can. Um, I would say any filmmaker, just please start shooting, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Um, yeah, I think, well, I don't have any advice because my life's a huge failure, but I would say that you, whatever they said to you when you were, what makes you special is from your soul. I think you see other movies and you want to be like them, but the honesty, I don't know, but something like that.
Well, another thing I'll also say is if it's not fun or making you laugh or inspiring you, don't do it. I think just in a very dorky way, I think people, when they are shooting, even if they're shoot, 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 they're trying to do an amalgam of what they assume is supposed to be shot. And really, the greatest test, it's like, like if you're in a text message, would you send a joke that you don't think is funny? Because no, you would only say so. Similarly, the biggest version of that is why would you shoot something that you wouldn't send to some that you yourself wouldn't? I think that is an impasse that people take sometimes the wrong lesson from, and they go, "Oh, I want something that this is what I'm supposed to do. It's this amalgam of what I think I'm supposed to do." And really, and kind of what Armen's saying is like exactly like what is the thing that's your soul or that you think is funny and makes you laugh, just do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys have a massive ensemble in this film. And I'm sure making this was the time of all of your lives and everything. I wanted to kind of ask, and I always find this interesting whenever comedies come out and everything. Who broke character the most? Who burst out into laughing the most when you guys were shooting, or were you guys very serious the entire time?
There were,
I'm trying to
and
think.
again, when we shot this, it was in 9 days. A lot of it was Clint Eastwood style. I think that actually helped the movie because people knew that they had to be on. So the
Yeah.
optionality of running digital because of an immense amount of time and there being so much room for that was very limited in this case, which helped us. But I will say the fact that all these actors came in and with their characters, there was a projected sense of a larger character. They were potentially in other movies or other people knew about them. Uh, Kind of lent itself to everyone being on and showing up, and almost every scene could have been part of their own movie, even bigger. So it was a lot of fun, but as far as breaking, cracking, that wasn't there simply because of the limitations of it. Yeah.
No, yeah. I think also, yeah, I maybe I said this, but yeah, just I wanted everyone to shine, and we love everyone, or a lot of these parts are written for specific people, and a lot of it was just making sure that it just used to be real. The characters were real.
Definitely. And my final question to you guys before we wrap up this interview is, are you guys working on any projects? Could you tease a little bit of something for us? Or right now, are you just solely focused on this and then we'll see wherever the wind takes us?
Well, like George Lucas with Star Wars, we wrote out the entire series, 6 films. Like Star Wars, we only came in on the fourth film. So potentially, um, there's room for any of those, but not needed to be in order. You could potentially do and cherry pick any one from the 6, knowing that in time all 6 will be completed.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with me today. I really adored this film. I'm so excited for everybody to see it. Have a wonderful rest of your day and fuck Merlot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care,
Loved
guys.
it.
Sarah, Mike, Paul, welcome. It's so exciting to be you guys and talk to you guys about the Napa Boys. But before we jump into that, I just want to say I love all the work that you guys do outside this movie. Like, I'm such fans of each and every one of you. Mike and Paul, Love is one of my favorite comedy shows ever. And
Hey.
I was so excited when I found out that both of you were going to be in this film. So I'm so excited that you guys are collaborating together again. And Sarah, Parenthood is a very special show for me and my family. And I loved your performance as Hattie. I think a lot of people did. And everything that you've done since then is truly remarkable. And it was very shocking when I saw you in this because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think that she would ever do something like this. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bryan. That's nice of you to say.
Yeah, thank you, Bryan.
Of course, absolutely. Now, jumping into why I get to talk to you guys, say, how did you guys come across this project? Was it something that was handed to you guys? Are you friends with the filmmakers? Like, how did you guys join this project and what drew you to this project?
Sarah?
Wow. You know, some people did join this project just because they read the script. I just want to start with that and say those people are brave and they have incredible taste. This project came to me via a long phone call with Armen, who I had not spoken to in quite some time, as he took me on a journey of epic proportions, describing like the tone of the movie, and setting up for this table read that he was going to do. And I didn't completely understand what he was talking about at all, but I said, tell me when to show up and I'll be there. And we had this table read and it was like so much fun. We were all cackling hysterically. How long was the script? Like, I feel like it was really long. And it was just this big adventure. And you can't say no to Armen, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You can't say no to Armen. I knew I've known Armen for now almost 20 years, like Paul, I'm guessing, is this around the same time. But I knew all those guys from like the UCB world, and then Nick, the director, came from Funny or Die, and I met him through a lot of people, who worked over in that world and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm the same with Sarah. You don't say no to Armen. I hadn't talked to him either in a very long time, and then we did a table read a couple years ago, and it was very fun. And we had a lot of fun at the table read, and then I was on board at that point. I mean, I never wasn't on board. I was always happy to get to mess around with my buddies. So it was, yeah.
Yeah, Armen, I've known for 20 years, and I just think he's just one of the most like original co comedians and writers. And then the director Nick, I was just a fan of his before I got to officially meet him, Nick Corirossi, and I think Nick is just like one of the best filmmakers I've met. Like he's just so great at like crafting things in a way. And so to have two people who I so admired doing something together, and also both of those guys, they suffer no hacks. They hate hack stuff. Like together, their level of like hatred for anything you've seen before. So also their forces is just coming together was really exciting because it meant something I never seen before.
Yeah, I got the chance to speak with Nick and Armen right before hopping on with you guys. And truly, like I said this to them, this is unlike anything that I've ever seen. I got to attend the premiere of this at TIFF a few months ago, the Midnight Madness crowd. It was
right on.
It was one of the most exhilarating experiences that I've ever had in my life as someone who goes to the movies all the time. And it's something that I simply will never forget. But what I really admired so much about this movie, upon many things, was that yes, it's absurd, yes, it's ridiculous, but there's also a lot of heart to it. And kind of posing this question to Sarah and Mike, some of the more heartfelt moments in this film are between Puck and Mitch, and I would love to kind of get your insight on those moments, because on top of the absurdity that is sprinkled throughout this film, you also have these very sincere moments. So for you guys, what was it like when you read those moments and then when you got to perform them in the film?
Yeah,
You
I
take
loved
it, Mitch.
I loved that we had our Sarah and I have our little side journey through the woods and down the rapids, I guess. I loved my character basically gets brain damage, but I loved all that stuff after I had brain damage is when that's when I really connected with the character. But no, I mean Sarah's such a good actor, and I'm a fan of hers, and it was so fun to act with such a pro, and she made it easy. We only did a lot of that stuff just one. It was one and done. It was kind of what it was we were moving pretty quick, so it was like we shot it, and if Armin was crying like we established before, then we moved on, and that was kind of what it was. But it was no, I love those quiet moments, and that's a testament to Armin and Nick too, of like this insane stuff of like the Milfinator's mansion, and then you cut back and there's like kind of this sweet scene where Sarah's teaching me how to dance. It's very nice.
I would agree. I mean, you talked to Armin and Nick, so I wonder, I kind of feel like Nick sees this movie as a comedy and Armin does not see it as a comedy.
That's how they worded it to me, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And my instructions from Armin for the character of Puck were to watch The Village and focus on Bryce Dallas Howard's character in The Village, who's kind of the epitome of goodness, and to watch Rudy, also epitome of goodness and like this outcast character. And I did watch Rudy for the first time on a plane and was like sobbing hysterically. And so I think that's what you're picking up on was this heart that Puck was tasked with bringing to the movie, and Mitch just can't help but bring everywhere he goes.
Oh.
And someone who doesn't have a heart is Squirm. It's a complete polar opposite of these two characters. So, Paul, kind of talk to me a little bit about what it was like to bring the character of Squirm to life. Because when I saw this movie at TIFF, and I rewatched the movie just a few days ago, I can't get your delivery of, for those of you keeping score at home, out of my head. It's truly genius stuff. So, talk to me a little bit about that.
Thanks. Yeah. When I read the scripts, like the Mitch and Sarah were mentioning, it was like kind of daunting because afterwards, when I would try to write stuff, I felt so square because like it's like really cool, like the stuff they write. So then getting to do it and be Squirm was good. The line of like for those of you keeping score at home, we were doing the scene and then Nick said, "Hey, you should turn the camera and say it." So that was his idea too.
Well, it was so good. It was so genius.
Thank you.
I just want to say that because Paul is, I'm sorry, I don't want to be embarrassing, but Paul is like, I think is the funniest guy in the world.
Stop
and
this.
he for me it was like for my sketch group, the Birthday Boys, him and Neil Campbell were kind of our mentors. And I got to see Paul be so funny and silly for so long. I had the pleasure of getting to see that all the time, like on a weekly basis. And he's such a good actor, and he's so great in love. And there's been like a love renaissance too, Paul. I'm gonna say there's about so many people are I've been seeing a lot of online people where people are like really commenting how they loved Love, which is really great to see.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's so fun to see Paul be so silly and insane in the movie that it makes me really happy to see Squirm just go all out and be insane.
Thank you, Mitch.
Of course.
Well, this film brought an absolute smile to my face. I really loved watching it, and I loved getting to talk with you guys. So congratulations on the film. Thank you guys so much for all the work that you do, not just with this film, but all the work that you have done before this, and certainly the work that you're going to be doing after. I adore all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Bryan.
Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you for
really
the
appreciate your
You're
enthusiasm.
awesome. Yeah,
Of course.
you're awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.